Hey, love, a rhythm. Wanna talk about it? The rhythm of love. Hey, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the Love Rhythm Recipe. My name is Casey. I'm your host. I am your master chef. I am your navigator through this thing we call food and love. Hey, we got a good one tonight. We got some good food brewing. I'm taking out that first lasagna so it can be ready for the end so we can cut it. But I'm going to take you through the steps to show you how you can make the best tasting ever homemade lasagna with a couple of little hacks that you'll ever roll around your mouth. And speaking of lasagna, tonight's topic, as far as relationships are concerned, I was thinking to myself, and I really was reflecting. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little personal story in the middle of this. But we're going to be talking about, is your partner your happiness Uber? And you're like, okay, she done really lost it. Not, trust me. I'm going to give you the correlation between. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so we were just checking that first lasagna, looking good, but I'm not gonna show you yet. Okay, however, I'm gonna give you the correlation, the parallels between lasagna and our topic. Is your partner your happiness Uber? Okay, so I took a couple of notes because, hey, I don't have a memory of an elephant. Sometimes I do. Let me get my good glasses on, y'all, so I can look at my bullet points and I'll tell y'all the correlation. This is going to be fun, and it was because I myself was reminiscing. Okay, and but I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I see some wonderful people up here in my chat. Yes, I do. I see. Yeah, I see perfectly neat. I see my lovely, my handsome husband. Okay, with his little heart hands there. Okay, just see he's throwing love things to me because he wants this lasagna. That's what it is. See, I already know. See, honey, when I tell you, you better learn how to cook. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, any way you can. Don't let nobody tell you that saying about heart and food. Yes, it all comes together. Trust me. Okay, so let me get my glasses on, y'all, and let's see who else I see. Oh boy, I can see clearly now. Okay, and I have Mr. Corey in here. I have the Cosmic King. I got my sister Pam. She came back to spend some more time with me. Yes, she did. And you said something else. You said about somebody. Nope. Okay, so we're going to get started. Hopefully we'll get some other people to come in. And like I was telling you guys earlier, those of you that were here, this will take me to the top of my watch hours. I will have my 4,000 watch hours. So y'all come on in and help a sister out. Okay, and you're going to have some fun in the process because this will take me. I will be, if I could do streamers or whatever, yes, I'll be so happy. I'll have those 4,000 watch hours after this here live. So let me talk to you about the parallels between lasagna and relying on your partner for happiness, okay, or being your happiness Uber. That's what that means. So crafting a lasagna, I'm going to tell y'all, and y'all going to see, okay, the way that I make lasagna, it's a labor of love. Yes, it is. But honey, it'd be worth it. Every little bite. Every little bite you take. Yes. Okay. So relying on your partner for happiness can pose problems. It really could. Okay. So with the lasagna, you're building layers. You're cultivating. Yeah. You're building it because it is joy. Okay. And when you are building lasagna, you're cultivating personal joy. The lasagna is delicious. There are layers to the lasagna. You want to combine your pasta, your sauce, your cheese, and the fillings in between to create a harmonious dish. Personal happiness, just in general, true happiness comes from layering various aspects of life, your personal interests, your friendships, your career goals, all the things ingredients to personal happiness, including your relationships, including your, that's the word, including your relationships, not solely depending on your relationship to be your source of happiness. Okay, you want to avoid over dependence on one ingredient with the lasagna. So you don't just want to put some noodles in there or lasagna noodles. You don't just want to put the sauce. You have to have all of these ingredients to make this dish whole and to make it work and to make it taste good. Okay, if you put too much of one thing, it's going to overwhelm it and throw it off. It's the same thing with a relationship. If you depend on one person for your end all and be all, for your happiness, for breathing, okay, then that's going to put a strain on not only you not having a diversified dynamic to your personal happiness, but how you going to put that kind of stress on another person? They got to try to be responsible for their happiness and yours too. That's a lot. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to work. You need to embrace all the flavors in your lasagna. Like I told you, I'll layer in, and each of the flavors have to have their own identity in order for them to mesh together and give you the results that you want. You know, you want to achieve a balance. And you do that with the lasagna, and you want to do that same thing with your relationship. It's good for your emotional well-being. You want to balance the time with your partner and the time you spend doing personal things. Hey, doing you, me time, you know, whether it is enhancing yourself intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, there is a place for everything. You do not have to be booed up with this person 24 hours a day. And if they sneeze, you got to be there to catch every little germ. That's not how it works. I will tell you again, every one of us, even twins, okay, they're in the same womb, but they're me's before they're we's. And they even understand that once they come out and they start developing their own different little personalities, even though they look like each other. So lasagna, like I said, hey, at the end of the day, you want to taste it to make sure whether or not you need adjustments. I know, like with my sauce, because I'm very, very particular about my sauce, but there are ingredients. Sometimes I need a little bit more and I will adjust it accordingly. So that's why I give a little taste. Or in my case, I let my people there do a little taste for me. And because they know, especially beautiful assistant, she knows what I'm looking for. She can pretty much tell me when I don't do a taste. You know, by understanding the parallels between the lasagna recipe and having a person be your source of happiness or not having that is very, very, very important. Because I'm going to tell you, in the long run, as far as, you know, the relationship goes, I mean, some people and your partner will do everything they can, and you're supposed to do everything you can to make each other happy. Okay. But you have to have other things in your life, because if they're the end all and be all, if it ends, God forbid it ends for whatever reason, you're left with nothing. Okay. And you don't ever want to be left with nothing. And there's nothing wrong with having interest. It's not selfish, because these are the things that attracted you to each other in the first place. You weren't attracted to that person because you were a member, and here I go with Star Trek again, of the Borg that you assimilated. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that wants you to be that, there's a problem. We told you about the red flags. So let's get to it. I am going to have my, we better check. Oh, did we take it out? We did. We took it out. Okay, we can't let you see. Okay, so beautiful assistant, if you will help me show some of these ingredients for the lasagna, I'm going to show you guys that, and then we're just going to talk a little bit about your partner being your happiness Uber. And I was thinking about the Uber part as a vehicle, the partner being a vehicle for your happiness. Now, I will tell you this. Like I said, my husband and I have been together for 40-ish years. Okay. Hello, Miss Huckabee. How are you? Hey, are you? I get the word. Hey, how are you? See, this is why you don't read and talk at the same time. Okay. But before I do anything else, y'all, check this out. Look at that. This don't get no better. Okay. This is a great mocktail to pair with your lasagna. It's all that. I'm going to taste this. Ooh, how cute is this? How cute is that? Yes. Let me taste this. Let me move this out the way so it doesn't hit me. You know, I say that all, but they really are good drinks. They really are. And I'm not a big drinker of flavored things. I drink a lot of water, you know, and I'll drink some coffee, but every now and then I'll drink me some juice. And of course, this is sugar-free. This is unsweetened everything. So I want my mixologist, I want Corey to tell us exactly what this is called and what is in it. Because I'm telling you, it's nice and cool and refreshing. And then this orange is actually sweet. We're spring now, guys. So summer is fast approaching. So we're going to have a lot of cool drinks that we need, you know? So this is going to be one of them. So Corey, take it away. Tell us what's up with this.
So the drink is called the Tropical Paradise Punch. The ingredients is just a cup of pineapple juice.
Okay, pause. Can everyone hear Corey? Does Corey have his mic?
Where's my mic?
No, Corey didn't use his mic. So I don't want you guys to miss one bit of what he's saying, because this is an easy drink to make. It's not hard. It looks fabulous, but it's not hard. It's delicious, and it's not high caloric. So that's a good thing.
So the drink here is called the Tropical Paradise Punch. The ingredients: 1 cup of pineapple juice, half a cup of orange juice, 1/2 cup of cranberry juice, and 1/2 of coconut water. Use ice cubes if you'd like.
Okay, very easy peasy. The coconut water thing, you can get a little container of it because it doesn't take a whole lot. Make yourself a nice pitcher and have a good time. Doesn't have to be with lasagna, but it's going to pair really good because it's really cleansing to the palate to go with the dynamic of that robustness and savoriness of the lasagna and the cheeses. So it's a good thing. Okay, so Beautiful Assistant has some of my ingredients. Okay, if you don't know already, this is my no salt Sazon. No MSG. It comes in little packets, but I put it in a shaker so I can distribute it easily. So I have that. Of course, I told y'all, for those of y'all that were there earlier, I didn't use my Casey's Blessing because I didn't have a chance to make any. So I'm using it in this recipe because it really needs it, and it's going to be a good thing. Okay, you can use the seasoning of your choice or don't use it at all. I use my dried celery here in my sauce. I have some onion powder. Yes, I do. I have some dried Italian seasoning. I'm going to be using fresh too. I have some black pepper. I have my minced garlic. Love, love, love this stuff. I have a little can of basil and garlic tomato paste. Okay. I have my sweetener of choice, which is Splenda. You can use sugar or whatever your sweetener of choice is. Okay. Wait. Take that back. Okay, so this is part of it. I'm going to use more than this, but I have, and this is on sale. You can use any spaghetti sauce that's on sale. This is on sale. I would have got the store brand because this is a hack. Instead of you going through using your tomato sauce and stuff, you get this for your base and you build it up. That's what you do. Okay, and it'll make it quicker for you. But trust me, you don't want to go through all that. So of course I have my little cavalcade here of spices. So I did put my chopped basil in there. I have my chopped Italian seasonings, and that's basil and oregano and thyme and all those good things. I also put in there, is this my cilantro? This is a little bit of chopped parsley, and you'll see why. And that's more parsley. My cilantro is turned all around. Yep. Okay, come on, y'all. Okay, and I have my cilantro because cilantro just does a body good. I'm telling you, it's really just heightens the flavor. So I have that. Then I have my meats. So, all right, this is a 1/2 pound of some sweet Italian sausage. You don't have to use that. I just like the flavor, so I do that. Okay, then I have 2 pounds of the Wagyu hamburger meat. You can use whatever hamburger, 2 pounds I have here because I got a lot of people. I would tell you if you're doing 4 people, you might want to use a pound, but I like to have enough meat sauce. If I have some left over, then I just freeze it and I can use it for other stuff. And of course, I have my white onion. I have a 1/2 of a large white onion cut up coarsely and a whole red pepper cut up. I have about 5 or 6 bay leaves, fresh bay leaves, not bay leaves. What am I saying? Basil leaves. Okay, here that I'm also going to use. And I have a lot of people will use ricotta cheese. I don't care for ricotta cheese. I really don't. You can use it if you want. I like to use small curd cottage cheese because it has no flavor. It takes on the flavor of your seasonings, and it really works well as a binder. And if it just works well, you'll see once we cut it up and stuff. So I use this. I think that's everything. And of course, my lasagna noodles, which I have already done. I have my cheeses, and so I've grown fond, and you can use whatever cheeses you want. I use this, and I like this cheese, the Tillamook. Now, they ran out of the whole milk, so this is the part skim, but it's still going to be a whole lot more pliable than just the full skim, because the skim milk, the whole milk really keeps the creaminess and the pliability. Okay, so I have that. Also, I've grown fond of this quesadilla cheese because it does have a good melt and a good pull. Very mild. It's very reminiscent of mozzarella. Okay, and then I have my shredded Parmesan because that's part of the mix. So I have 2 eggs that I'm going to be using as a binder for this. And I think that will be about it.
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spray that pan. Beautiful assistant is going to take that hamburger meat and she is going to brown it. And we're going to use our hamburger, what is it, hamburger pounder? What do we call it? A hamburger masher. And she's going to brown up that hamburger meat and she's going to mash it really, really fine. Okay, so I think we already have a big giant pan of lasagna. So I'm going to make a smaller pan just so I can show you guys, what's up and how to do it. Okay, I'm not going to make a big giant one because we ain't gonna really have no. This is like this one here is really big. Okay, so are we going to do 1 pound of meat, you think?
Yeah. 1 pound.
Maybe 1 1/4.
Well, hold on, 1 pound and then the other half of that Italian sausage. I think that's enough.
Okay, so I say 1 1/4 pounds, just a little extra. Yeah, 1 1/4 pounds. You probably could use 1 pound, and then we have the 1/2 pound. So you have 1 1/4 pounds of the hamburger meat, and this is for a small casserole. I'm going to use the glass casserole dish, y'all. So that's smaller, and we're going to use a 1/2 pound of the Italian sausage, which you don't have to have that. Okay, because I know everybody doesn't do the pork or whatever. But you can, if you want to put a sausage in there, find a beef sausage, that may be synonymous, okay? And just take it out of the casing and, chop it up, brown it up and put it in there. So that's what she's going to be doing. So we're going to get that done. And while she does that, I'm going to take another sip. How is everybody out there? Okay. Yo, let me take this off of here. Because, I'm trying to be cute. And this thing is going all up in my face. So let me get a little paper towel because I do want to eat this orange later. And because it's really sweet. It's really nice. A nice little navel orange. But this is so good and refreshing. It sure is. So anyhow, we can get down to talking about is your partner, your happiness Uber. And like I said, I thought about this for myself. Like I said, my husband and I have been together 40-ish years. Okay. Long time. We've been together since time began. Okay. So I will tell you this for me. Yeah. I didn't assign him as my happiness Uber. However, he became the center of my life really from the time that we kind of met. My mother passed away very early. My husband was there and a great support. Like I said, I am a very introverted person, I guess. I don't have a whole lot of people around me, a whole lot of friends, stuff like that. So because of the friendship we formed from the very beginning and the support that he gave, and like I said, he's been here through it all. You know what I'm saying? He knows me pretty much better than anybody else does besides the Lord above. So yes, I fed off of whether or not he was happy, whether he was sad. It was just he was everything. Now, let's fast forward. So I had to learn that is not his responsibility. Okay. I can be happy and it's okay for me to be happy and have interests and things like that. I don't have to volunteer to suppress the things that I want. But see, when you start and I think people think a lot, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I was listening to some music from back in the day or whatever, and a lot of the music that, not even back in the day, but just, like love songs and stuff like that. I got a perfect one for you. What was I listening to? I was listening to well, not just Heather Headley, but Lettucey. And she has this beautiful song called, I think it's called Anything for You. And I get it. She's so deeply in love with this person until it's like, hey, the sun, the moon, the stars, that's pretty much what she's saying. It's like, my life was not complete until you came along, and I'll do anything for you because you made everything so much better. And I dig it because when you're in love with somebody, that's what you feel like. But you have to put things into perspective. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna have sunny days. Some people gonna have rain. They may not have it at the same time. If you are depending on that other person to always be the sunshine in your life, you are the sunshine of my life. These are the songs we heard. I am telling you, these are the songs that I subscribe by. These are the songs that touch my heart. So you're kind of thinking, hey, this is normal, but it's not. It's not normal to put all of that on somebody else. And I'm going to tell you, at first, they may carry that load. They may carry that load for a long time and feel like they can't be human or have any kind of human emotions because, if I trip, how's that going to affect her or him or them? You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. It's a selfish way of looking at things, even if it's not intentional. And because I had lost my mother, I was young. You see what I'm saying? I don't come from like I said, my mother was a very huggy, kissy person. My father, not so much. So I'm a combination of two, so for me, it's just like, there's a very hard exterior because of the life I've had to live. And you have to have a certain amount of strength in order to get through this life in this world. Okay. My husband is very huggy, kissy, affectionate. So that dynamic is really what drew me to him. And at that point in time, I needed that kind of support. I didn't need the world. All I needed was him. You know what I'm saying? So he did become my happiness. He did become my joy. It was not intentional, but it was not a good dynamic because that's not something you can keep up for 40-something years. Okay, because people change, dynamics change, your interests change, all those things like that. And you have to be able to pivot or to change with those things. When you put somebody in that place, or like you put somebody on a pedestal like that, they don't have any room to be a person. They have to never make a mistake. They have to never do anything wrong. They have to never not be there for your needs. Okay. I learned that. And this is why I'm telling you guys. And this is why I came up with this subject, because I was there. I had to learn that it was okay. And then it got to the point, like we had kids and stuff like that. And so everything was about my little family there. And that was the motivation. And I just kind of started losing who I was in the mix. So that was bad for me also. Okay. Never thought to think about how it was for him. Okay. And I can't speak for him if that was the same way, because like I said, we pretty much have just had each other. That's it. So I will say, I don't care how much you love somebody, you can love them to the end of time. And I have wrote many of love songs and things like that. And yes, that's what my heart feels. But you also got to understand that the love you have for somebody else needs to be just as strong for yourself. You have to be the master of your own emotions, your own happiness, your own impulse control. You cannot depend on someone else to provide that for you. We are individuals, okay? We have to be able to stand alone in order to be able to be a bridge over troubled waters for other people, because sometimes that role needs to be reversed. And when you put that on people like that, it just really isn't fair. So I had to relearn, because I've always been a very independent person. I had to relearn that I needed to be a me. It was okay for me to have the interest that I have, or lack thereof, different than him. Like I said, he's more social than I am. You know what I'm saying? So if he went out somewhere, I'm not just sitting here by the phone wondering, or sitting by. I got to do me, and it's okay. And then when you come together, you got something interesting to talk about. And I hope I'm explaining this correctly. There is nothing wrong with being so deeply in love with somebody that you want to spend every minute of your day with them. But you got to put it into perspective, because, honey, that wears thin real fast. It really does. It wears thin real fast. You can always check in with that person, but good grief, they don't have to hear them every moment. You don't have to be calling them every 15 seconds. You don't have to. Are you going around the corner yet? Are you? Okay, that is a sense of obsession and insecurity. I ain't get that deep. I didn't. I wasn't that bad. But you know what? It was bad enough. And I was younger. And like I said, I learned. Okay. And it's okay. And fast forward 40-something years later, hey, Boo can do whatever he do. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I know where you're coming back to. So I'm not tripping. And so to get to do that in the beginning of some longevity is going to save you a whole lot of stress, a whole lot of heartache. It's going to allow you to grow as a person. You know what I'm saying? And as a couple, and fortify that foundation that you are building, trying to build, or want to build and have last. Child, let me tell you something. A relationship is so much work. If you think that, hey, they done put a ring on it and I'm done. Oh, no. No, I'm telling you, it is work to the end of freaking time. And if you ain't up to the challenge, you might as well just step off like now. For real. Save yourself the trouble. Don't engage. Okay, because you are forever going to have to be mindful. And I'm not saying you can sit here every single day taking notes or whatever. Oh, let me see. But you can't forget. You can't forget why you got together in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And if it's for the right reasons, then, you will be able to evolve. Okay, so where are we at? So my beautiful assistant is over there she done that hamburger up. Yes, she has. Okay, did we get there? So she's draining the fat off of the hamburger, because what happens is if you don't drain this stuff and then you put it in your sauce, then your sauce becomes very greasy. You don't want that, because we're going to make a meat sauce that we're going to be cooking. So once she gets that done, and she gets it in the pot, and she gets the sausage done the same way, we're going to put it in a pot. I'm going to show you how to season it up, and we're going to get our sauce to go. And that's the first part. It's a 3-part dynamic to my lasagna, and most good lasagnas have it. You have your meat sauce. And the longer you cook it, I'm going to tell you, I usually start cooking mine so it can be cooking about an hour. The longer you cook it, the better the flavors are going to come up through it in your lasagna. You can tell the difference than if you just mix it cold and then put it all together. It's a big difference, for real. So you have 3 parts. You have the meat sauce. You have your cheese. I call it concoction, because it's cheese and the cottage cheese and all these things and egg. So that's like part of your binder, and also giving you more cheese. Like I said, more flavors, more layers. Then
What do I do next?
you want to put that in the pot, this pot right there.
Okay.
And then you're going to brown the sausage. Okay, so I'm sorry. Oh, so she browned. See, she has ingenuity. See, this new wave stuff. See, I would have did it separate. Okay, she browned them together, and they look good together. And she drained all the oil. So now she's going to put the meat in my stock pot, what I'm going to be using to make my sauce up. Okay, but while she does that, I'm going to take another sip. Yes, I am. So I will tell you this. There are signs. And like I said, I did not realize those signs were there. Okay. Because I am telling you, and I will still tell you, okay, it may not be as many songs that I hear right now in my head, but when my husband's not getting on my last nerves, I still hear music in my head when I think about him. Okay. When I was younger, oh, baby, honey, I had Every love song they made, okay, it was like they made it for me, okay, because I could figure it out and it fit it in some kind of way. Go figure. How dumb are we when we're young? Anyhow, okay, it's like I said, everybody's love story is different. Oh, these earrings are getting on my last nerve. Wait a minute, it's this one. That's what it is. I keep telling you, it is. Yeah, okay, but so I will tell you the signs that you are making your partner your happiness Uber are constantly, like I said, expecting your partner to fix your mood. So if you feeling blue, I guess she's supposed to come in here and be a court gesture and do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, do something, to make you feel better. I'm gonna tell you like this: after a long day of work, I'm gonna ask you how you doing. I may kiss you, whatever it is. But you know what? I got to decompress for myself. So I may not notice that you're sitting over there and, dun, 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 dun. My day was lonely. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what to do. Dun, 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 dun. I wish I had somebody. Dun, 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 dun. And here come you. Yeah, because you're going to make it back. You're going through the blues. You know what I'm saying? And he or she may not notice it. So now you're going to get in a deeper despair. You're like, I'm sitting here. I don't feel good. Okay. How come you ain't making it better? Well, he or she could have a headache. They could have had a bad day themselves. Did it ever occur to you to ask those questions? No, because you're trying to get rid of whatever angst or pain or feelings or dismay or whatever that you have because you're used to. And I'm going to tell you like this: when you first get with somebody, yeah, child, honey, it's, hey, everything is about the two of you. Okay, it just is. And I'm not going to tell you that it's fake, but it's the first stages of a relationship. Okay, people, life be lifing. When you get in the house with each other, when you marry that person, you living in that place with that person, it's different than when, hey there, here at the Huckabee house, we have 30-minute rule after work. It works. I hear you, Huckabee, for real. So what I'm saying is, when you're dating someone or you don't live with that person, that those long phone calls that you don't never want to get off the phone. And this doesn't just happen to really young people. I've seen old people do this mess too. Okay, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, or you can sit on the phone forever with this person. I can't tell you what I was talking to this man about for 8, 9, 10 hours. I can't tell you. There could not have been anything that important, world peace, hunger, something. But I did it. I remember there was a big storm and his lights went out in his house. And we literally stayed on the phone for hours until they had those phones on the wall then, landlines. So, it didn't go out if your lights went out. And I couldn't tell you what I was possibly talking to him about. Okay, because I can count the words now. I'll be totally in it, But when we were in the house together, it was just like, you just couldn't wait. And like I said, back then, we didn't have cell phones, You remember those days, right, Deb? Exactly. You couldn't wait. We didn't have cell phones. I think maybe that's what made it more crucial, because you couldn't just reach up in your pocketbook or your pocket and text somebody. Okay. You had to wait. So if it was 8, 9, 10 hours from the last time you saw that person, especially if you don't live with them, you had to wait till you could get them on the phone. God forbid they live with other people and somebody is on the phone and the line is busy and you fiending to talk to this man. I can't tell you, okay, the level of stress that puts you under. It really does, especially when you just that beginning of that relationship. Yes, everything is about that person. At least it was for me. So yeah, payphones. Okay, they had payphones. Yes, they did, and you would use all your little coins trying to talk to that person. Okay, yes, you would hope there wasn't nobody on that phone because there were busy signals back then. I don't know when they got call waiting where you could switch over. or
Wait, hold on.
whatever.
Didn't you have to use quarters?
You use quarters. At first, I think back in the day, I think it started at dimes or whatever. I was little, but
So
you had to have your change. You had to have your listen.
Oh, no, so someone's on the phone and you call and you.
Oh yeah, and you steadily putting quarters in. You don't get the quarter back if it's busy. Okay, you get the quarter back if it rings and rings and rings and don't connect. But if the quarter connected, like once they got answering machines, then you was just out of quarter. Oh, I could tell you stories about that. Man, let me tell you something about that man there. Okay. Well, I'm digressing. Let me get over here and get the sauce started. Then I'm going to tell y'all some things for real. Let me get the sauce started. I'm going to take y'all way back. I'm going to take y'all to places that I ain't never took nobody. Okay. So wait for it. All of you who are not here, who are missing this, okay, you better watch it. I'm here to tell you. Okay, because y'all want reality TV. I'm finna give you the real deal. Let me get over here and turn that over here. So, what? No, I need to not turn it too far because I don't want y'all to see the finished product. Can somebody take the finished product around there and take it to the dining room? I don't want them to see what you're gonna get. Okay, so let's get this out the way. And I'm just gonna wipe off this area here because y'all know how I do. Okay, let me get this out of here over here. Okay, and just wipe that off. So I'm gonna make the sauce up. So let me get the other sauce. I need to get my bigger one, okay? Because I just want to make sure I have enough. I got a pretty good deal on these big things here because I was like $3.79, which is really good because they're the value size. And like I said, if you have room in your fridge, you can get it and use little by little, put it in little containers and freeze it. And you know, when you get these things on sale. So 67 ounces for this. I'm not going to use all of this, but I need a little bit more than what's left in the jar. So what I'm going to do first, and for those of you who do not have a NutriBullet, see, I remembered the name of it this time. See, let me put this over here.
Perfect, you know?
Okay, so let me put that over here, y'all. And let me get these little bangles off my arms. Yes. Okay. Get my little rings off. And let me pull you closer. The closer I get to you. Oh, man. And them love songs will get you in some big trouble. I'm here to tell you. The ones you can understand the words. Okay, and they really they hitting you hard, okay, and you pining away for this person, and then it gotta come on TV, on the radio. No, that was the radio. Then honey, they had something called a quiet storm at night. You buy it by yourself because you can't get with your person, can't get them on the phone, whatever. You ain't seeing them all day long, and they got the quiet storm. This was in New York. I don't know if they had it down here where I am or other places, but the quiet storm consists of every freaking love song they could dig up. Okay, back to back to back, uninterrupted. So it could tell the story of your love life. And if it wasn't your love life, you was going to make it your love life. Okay, because honey, they had some heavy hitting ones. I don't know if the people singing them songs, if that happened to them for real, but honey, they was talking to the sister. So let me get over here and take this off, put this over. I need to get me a good spoon and get me my flat spatula.
Might be in the dishwasher or in the. No, it might be next.
I got it. Okay, so I got my favorite. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I was talking about the magic bullet, and I'm going to get this meat and put it back in the fridge because she didn't use all of it. Get that up here and throw this away. All right, so if you don't have the magic bullet, not to worry. If you have a food processor, if you have a little blender, or you can just chop it really fine because you know the texture, you know, certain things. Like my sister-in-law, who probably isn't here tonight, she don't like no onion. She likes the flavors. And so I've learned to pulverize things. So you don't have to do this. You may want the texture. So I got my magic bullet here. And I'm going to plug her up. Get this over here. Try not to make a mess. All right, and so now I'm gonna load her up. So I'm gonna take this onion, the bell pepper, and these basil leaves. I'm gonna stick it in the magic bullet. Because what I'm trying to make, and for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I tend to make these pastes and stuff like that, flavorful paste, because it enhances the flavor of whatever you use it in. It just does. Try it. Try it. Okay? For those of you who just voyeur and like to see me clown and don't really try my recipes, y'all need to get with the program. I'm telling you. Because I know I'm entertaining. I know I'm a funny old lady. But you know what? There's more to me than just funny. There is substance here, I tell you. Okay, so let me toss this in here. So I got my vegetables in here, right? But I'm not done yet. So now what I'll do, I'll take let me move this stuff over because I got a lot of stuff going on over here. And let me put this on here. Now you're like, this is plastic. You're putting it. Yes, I can do this. Let me show y'all. Okay, I had to wait 20-something years to be able to do this. You see this? Okay, y'all see that? Y'all know she just got finished cooking, right? Okay, this is not a fake hand. Okay, I do have feeling in my hand. Actually, this feels kind of good because my fingers are kind of cold. Okay, now you see. Magic, I tell you. No. The pan gets hot, the eye does not. When you remove the pan, the eye stops. When you put the pan back on, the pan gets hot, the eye. I bought this for my children because I am trying to promote them. I want my boys to know how to cook. I don't mean just to put some ramen soup in a bowl. I want them to know how to really cook. Why? Because that makes them self-sufficient. They can have better meals. And if they ever get a partner, they're not going to be a burden on their partner or sitting up there waiting for them to do everything for them. That's why. Okay, let me roll that back. Okay, so I'm going to sit this here. It's not going to melt. All right, so I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to start to load this up with some more of my seasonings. My herbs. So I put this last bit of cilantro in here. I have another one that I have to get out the fridge because I'm going to need that too because I layer everything, y'all. So give me a moment. Okay, so let's open up a new one. Okay, get you all nice and ready for the journey, y'all. Let's get this in here. Okay, so, and I'm going to toss this. I'm trying to tidy up as I go along. Honey's sister, when she finishes this, I'm going to go to sleep. Yes, I am. So, I'm going to throw this away. All right, so I did the cilantro, and that was a pinch. It was a little more than a pinch because there was just a little bit left in there, and why save it? Okay, I'm going to do a pinch of all of these seasonings, and for anyone that's looking that has not seen my shows, a pinch is between your forefinger and your thumb. Okay, that's a pinch. Let me get that in there. That's the parsley. I have, what else do I have? Okay, I have the Italian seasonings, and that's just like this. The Italian herbs, another pinch. And, pretty much whatever I got here is going to be a pinch. So then I got my chopped basil, and I already have some basil here. But see, there's different types of basil. So they're going to have two different types of taste. The leafy one is different than this. So I'm going to put a pinch in here, and this is very fragrant. If you can get a hold to this stuff, I tell you, this is what you need to do. Because it is worth it, all of it. Let me get that over here. I'm going to stick this over here so they don't all come tumbling down on me. Okay, let me get some olive oil. Because olive oil is going to be a little lubricant because this stuff can get kind of stiff. Let me get my tomato paste. Now, why am I using tomato paste? Because as I've told you guys, these bottled sauces, it's just basically all tomato sauce. I don't want my lasagna to be runny. hence is why I do a lot of drying of things, removing oils and stuff like that. I want my lasagna not to be sliding off down to the oasis somewhere. Okay, so let me put this over here. I am going to take my celery flakes. So a teaspoonful of these is going to go in here. Now, if you forget to put them in here, you can always put them in your sauce. They will soften up. Okay. I am going to put some of my Casey's Blessing in here. You can use whatever all-purpose seasoning or not. Okay. But that's how I roll. Okay. I'm going to put some black pepper in here. Casey's Blessing, I just put whatever I want. So about a half a tablespoonful. I'm going to do a quarter teaspoonful of black pepper. I'm going to do a teaspoonful of this onion powder. Stick that in there. Then I'm going to get my minced garlic. And I'm going to try to squeeze 2 little drops. Now it may be 3. Okay. So let's get that in here. So that's 1. That was, see, 1 and 2 came out. So there you go, 3 and a little half. Okay, so that's about a tablespoonful of the minced garlic. Okay, I'm looking. All right, let me get this off of here. So now I need to get a little knife. I already opened this up because I used some of this from earlier when I made pizza. Oh, the pizza was to die for. But any of you who didn't see the pizza video or the live this morning, Weekend Eats with the homemade pizza, oh, you need to check it out because it ain't no joke. Okay, that was the truth. You will never go to another pizza parlor. I was able, with my beautiful assistant, to mimic New York style pizza on steroids. It was good. So I'm going to take a little pinch of salt to balance the dynamic of this tomato paste I'm about to put in here, just a little. So it'll be just a little sprinkle just like that. Okay, not much. Remember, everything else I'm using is no sodium or low sodium, okay? And I'm going to get a knife, a plastic knife, so I can get the rest of this. So this is, this is 6 ounces. So I'm going to take the rest of this, so about half of this is 3 ounces of tomato paste. Now, I may get some more tomato paste once I get my sauce going, because like I said, I want my sauce to be kind of thick. I don't want it to be runny. So I'm going to take the other little can out, because I may have needed the whole can. But know when you put tomato paste in, it's going to taste just like a tomato paste. So when you add tomato paste, you want to add more seasonings, because the whole exercise is to be not to taste like it came out of a can of tomato paste. Okay, that's what you don't want to do. All right, so I'm taking the other can out just in case. But anyway, so we're going to go in here. Let me get my little plastic knife. I'm going to scrape around the edges here and get this out. Get that in there, so about 3 ounces. And like I said, I get the tomato paste that is seasoned supposedly with basil and garlic. If I taste this, it tastes just like regular to me. But you know, hey, if they say it's in there, if it's 1 iota of it in there, then they can say that it's in there. Okay, but it ain't never going to be as much as you want to put in there to your taste. And this is why people say, oh, I can't cook. I can't. Let me tell you something. You always want to take it to the highest heights. Don't ever. You look at a recipe, like for instance, when you're doing instant rice, they tell you 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. Yeah, if you want to have little chunky pellets. So if you're having 1 cup of rice, a full cup to the top, you want to have a cup and a quarter of water. It's best to cook it on the stove. You boil your water or your liquid, I use chicken stock or whatever stock. You put your rice in once it boils, okay? And then you let it go on a simmer. And you cook it till the liquid is almost gone. Then you take it off the stove with your top on it and you let it sit. That rice will fluff up and turn into the rice you're used to. You will never cook rice for 30, 40 minutes again unless you choose to do so. Trust me. I haven't cooked real rice in so long I forgot how to do it. Okay, I'm just being real. So let me throw this away. So I say this to say, you got to try things out. Don't always, everybody's kitchen and stoves and things like that are different. Everybody's taste buds are different. So you got to kind of figure out where yours are, and you have to adjust your food and your recipes accordingly. But like I said, when you're new at it, yeah, you do it that way. But once you taste it, you know the kind of things that will enhance your taste buds. And that's how you cook. Okay, I got to put this in here. So I got these things in here. Let's see what else I want to put in here. Okay, I'm going to put 2 squirts of Splenda. You can put a half a teaspoon, 3 squirts, a half a teaspoon of some regular sugar if you want, or the sweetener of your choice. I'm going to put a drizzle, probably about a half a teaspoonful of olive oil in here, because like I said, I have to loosen this up a bit. And then I'm going to take just a little bit. I'm going to take this little bit of spaghetti sauce. And this is probably about a cup and a half. And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to do that so I can get this all together. And I want it loose enough, but I don't want to put like water or something in it, to make it watery. So I can get that going. And that's going to be my little seasoned concoction bomb to go inside of everything. I'm going to turn this oven off because it's getting hot in here. And I'm not ready to put it in yet. Okay, so let me just turn that off. Let me rinse my hands off. Okay. Because I got a little tomato sauce, See, this is what I'm trying to avoid.
What?
The towel falling, and I knocked it down anyway. Okay, so I have all this good stuff in here, right? So, okay. I am now a knife thrower. Did you know? Okay.
Oh, right.
Anyhow, so let me get the lid on this thing. Just like that. Make it tight. So like I say, you don't have to do this, but if you got something like this, I would say go for it, because this is going to enhance your flavors. It's going to make a little bit of noise, so just bear with me. Okay. It's trying to move. Come on. There you go. Okay, and I'm going to let that go together. Okay, this is perfect. Now, this is all pulverized enough for me to put in here on top of this meat. Okay, this is what I call a herb seasoned bomb for your sauce. And I like to make these herb seasoned bombs with different ingredients for different things to cook, because like I said, this is going to step up the flavor of whatever. I'm coming over here so I can get me something else to drink because I'm thirsty. Okay, so now I'm going to take this bomb and I'm going to shake it and make sure I get as much off the top here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get it in here. Okay, shake that little excess. I'm trying to be careful, y'all, because I got this light outfit on in the, what do you call it, celebrating our new season. And I'm going to pour the rest of this in here, just like that. It did really well.
Okay, it smells.
Yeah, it did really well. So let me take this and stick this over here, get some soap in here. So it'll be easy to clean. And I like this because, you can also take this thing right here. I don't have time right now. But you can put a little bit of warm water in this, in the container that I'm doing here. A little bit of soap. Put it back on top of your NutriBullet. And it'll help clean the container. So it'll be even extra clean when you clean it. Okay, so let me get a little bit of our friend, the Dawn dishwashing detergent in here. Yep, just like that. And another piece of paper towel because I need to dry my hand. Okay, so let me get this, wipe this off of here. I think we're going to be okay with the level of tomato paste in here. I'm going to now take this spaghetti sauce. I'm not going to use all of it. I'll tell you how much in a minute. Okay, so that was easy. I am so surprised. See, they got this fixed for people like me that struggle with the tops. They got the little plastic around the metal. So that's good. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour this on here. Let's see what we got. Okay, let me stop because I want to stir and see, because I don't want my meat to be overpowered by the sauce, because then it'll be too runny. And then I'll have to put some more tomato paste in there, which I may have to do anyway. But I want the sauce to incorporate in the meat, because this meat is going to be one of the layers in our lasagna. And this is going to cook. Oops, splatter. It just wants to hit my dress. I am not going to have this. Y'all need to stop. Okay, so I'm stirring this in here, and that looks pretty good. I think I'm doing a little bit more. So I did about 1.5 cups of spaghetti sauce. So not even half of this container. So let me put this back on and get this over here. I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to hit it with my real seasonings again. This is important. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 squirts of the garlic. I'm going to hit my onion, 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to do my Casey's blessing, and I just make it rain. You can do this or not. Okay, let me get that back on here. I'm going to do my black pepper, just a sprinkle. 2 sprinkles. Okay, I am going to take my sazon, no salt. Hit it in there. I'm going to sprinkle it. So this will be about 1/2 teaspoonful of the sazon. All of this stuff is optional. If you don't want to use it, you can just use the basic stuff, the onion powder, the garlic, whatever. But I'm telling you, if you do like I do, you will be amazed at the flavor. It'll taste good the other way, but it'll taste exceptional this way. So, and then I'm going to take another little bit of the salt. I'm doing this because the tomato, salt, sugar ratio needs to be there. So you don't have, unless you like the taste of marinara. Okay, I like to have my tomato sauces be a balanced dynamic, just like we were talking about. Your relationships need to be balanced and not one-sided, and having one person take the load of all the emotional issues and dynamics or whatever of you and them and everybody else. So I have that. So I'm going to take 3 squirts of my Splenda. Then I'm going to have my beautiful assistant come taste it and let me know if I need to adjust. Okay, and I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoonful of some of this dried Italian seasoning in here. Just like that. So we're always going to layer. Okay, get that here. Okay, get it all mixed in. And she's just going to taste a little bit, because you really can't get a real feel or taste for it until it starts heating up. But, okay, so and rinse that off. What do you think? Garlic.
This
No,
is bit more Splenda.
A little more Splenda to take that tanginess down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So, and she's always right, because she's kind of like, my little mini me. She knows what I'm looking for. So I do take her word when she tastes this stuff. Okay. So let me put this over here. So she says one more little squirt of the Splenda, and then we'll turn this on. 1 more squirt, and we'll turn it on. Let me stir it up, just like that. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to put it on like a 3. So that is a high-low to get it started. The last thing you want to do with any of your sauces, spaghetti sauce or anything else, you don't want to scorch the bottom. If you scorch the bottom, you may be able to get overusing it, but it's going to taste, the scorch is going to come through. It really is. So let me put this top on here. We want to get it started to doing a little dance. Let me get this in the refrigerator. Then I'm going to do the middle part, which are the cheeses. Okay? So let me get this. Get my cheese out. Got all the cheeses. Yep. Okay. Dropping stuff, making a mess. Then get this. Okay, so let me get this over here and wipe this counter off because I see a little something here I don't like. Okay, so this is why I have my favorite mixing bowl. I'm going to watch this because once it starts to make some movement, then I'm going to turn it down and I'm going to let it simmer and let the flavors come through. But it has to start and have some movement. Okay, so, but before I do that, I told you guys, I'll start. Let me tell you about the story. Okay, y'all thought I forgot. Okay, well, is he still in the chat? Okay, I'm I am going to tell you the story of my husband. Okay, so this is the deal. Okay, like I said, we met each other in college. We met each other young. My husband is, to me, and he's a very beautiful man. He's beautiful. Yes, he is. I'm not just talking about inside. I'm talking about outside. He's very beautiful. He was even more beautiful then. Would I tell him that? No. He thought he was everything. Okay. I don't know whether he thought it or other people thought it, and he just carried it. That's all I have to say. That was not the him I got. Okay. I didn't get the guy that everybody was running behind and this, that, and the other. Okay, I got the guy like, okay, you just regular and we just gonna hang out and we friends. And that's how our relationship grew and blossomed. However, I'm here to tell you, when we talking about payphones and stuff like that, say for instance, we're in college, he's working and going to college. So am I. So we're supposed to have a date night or whatever. Okay. We don't drive because in New York City, people do drive, but it's not as common as it is in other states where there's not a lot of mass transit. In New York City, I have a lot of mass transit. I had no desire to drive. I love being a passenger. Everybody in my family drove. They tried to get me to drive, but I'm like, okay, what's the necessity? I got all stick. You know how I drove? I stuck my hand out and there was a car. Okay, that's how I drove. So you pretty much can get anywhere you want to get on mass transit. So we did. So I'm waiting for him, and I don't have a cell phone. Okay. Homeboy late as I don't know what. Okay. So now I'm calling. Okay. I'm calling his job. It did not pick up because they get off at 5:00. Time is ticking away. Okay. I'm standing there dressed to the nines in the subway. Okay. Hour go by. I'm still waiting. I said, okay, let me call this house. Call the house. Okay, of course, the line busy. I'm running out of quarters. Now, you got token booths inside the subway, so you can buy a token. A token is something you use to get on the train. And sometimes they'll be nice enough and they'll give you change, whatever. So you're just standing there. Now I'm just inadimmately, as all these hundreds of people are going back and forth and leaving me there, and the time is ticking away. Of course, I'm fiending to see this person. Okay. Ain't got no phone. Okay. Nevertheless, 3 hours went by. I'm still standing there at the subway. Okay. So then I finally call again. Whoever was on the phone talking a mile a minute and never got off, okay, at his house, tells me, oh, he's in his room sleeping. I said, nevertheless, I said some words that were not so nice to myself. I ain't said to the people on there, okay, but I'm like, okay, can you get him? Yeah. We got him, all right. And then he remembered, okay, hey, you got me standing here at the train station, putting quarters in this doggone phone, fiending to see your tail, and you sleep. I don't care what you did all day long. That ain't my problem. Okay. So then he hurries up and comes there, and then I'm supposed to have some pity. Oh, no, well, put it this way. We'd have to blankety blank, 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 blankety blank, 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 all that up there. But I say this to say, would I have put up with that today? Now, I would not be waiting at no train station, child, because you know what? I wouldn't be that sprung. And if I was, I would let you know that by standing there. Okay. But these are the things that young people do, or, that new love or whatever. Okay. So it can easily turn into this person just lights up your tunnel vision. You don't see nothing else and nobody. People can tell you stuff. Okay. Hey, I saw him running down the street with a butcher knife. It was dripping the blood. He killed. No, he didn't, because all you see is this. You got to wake up, everybody. Okay. We have to learn how to meter common sense with our heart. So the heads and the hearts, keep telling y'all about that. Get the head straight, the heart will follow. So, in any case, let me get over here and do this cheese, and I'll get back to what I'm saying. Yeah, I was that person. I surely was. I was, yeah. But I learned my lessons well, and I'm trying to give this to you. Okay, I don't care how much you in love. Think about it. Use some common sense. Okay, and like I said, if you make this person the center of your life and it's nothing else, and you have nothing else, it's going to become problematic down the road, not only for you losing who you are, but for that person trying to live up to the expectations that you have put them in without their consent. And that's not a pretty picture. That's not a pretty picture for longevity. Let me get over here and do my cheese. All right. So this is, like I said, the middle part of making your lasagna. This is very important. If you don't do this right, it's not going to come out right. I mean, this is my opinion. People make lasagna all kinds of ways. Okay. I perfected it because, like I told y'all, I started making lasagna when I was about 11. So I perfected it, and it tastes really good. So I am going to use my cottage cheese. So this is 16 ounces. I only have about 8 ounces in here because I used a big one because I made a great big lasagna. I'm going to make a small pan now. Okay. But the whole thing is you want to make enough of this because you're going to use this in your layering. So I will probably open this up. Let's see. This is a pound. So this is 24 ounces. And I use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But I want to show you guys the small curd cottage cheese. And I'm telling you, it doesn't have a flavor. So that it serves its purpose to hold the other cheeses and to give that creaminess, but it will take on the flavor. And let's see what my sauce is doing. Oh, my sauce is bubbling brown sugar. So let me get something to stir it because I'm going to turn it down. And if my husband was in there, yeah, I told on your little fly self. Yes, I did. Okay, so. Of course, he will deny all of this and say he never did those kind of things. Oh, yeah, he did. All day long. Okay, so let's put this on here. I stirred it, and I'm going to put it down a little because I just want it to simmer and cook. So I'm going to take it down too low because I don't want it to stick. So let me bring this over to you guys. If you get small curd cottage cheese, you can barely see anything. You don't see any little lumps. You see very little. Okay, it's very smooth. And like I said, I like it. I've tried ricotta. That just doesn't, it just don't do it for me. I don't like it. So you can use what you like. So let me put this for 8 ounces in here. Okay, I'm going to need a spoon to get this out of here. Or I'll get another knife. I'm liking using these plastic knives because I always have extra plastic knives and everything else is gone. So let me just scrape this out so we don't have anything left in here. Get it all in the bowl. Just like that. Okay? Now, normally you will be cooking your lasagna noodles. I did mine ahead of time, so we don't have to go through that. Very easy. Fill your pot up, a stock pot like this or a tall pot, all the way almost to the top. Okay? I spray cooking spray in mine. Some people like to put a little oil in it. People put salt. I don't like to mess with the integrity of my pan, so I don't use salt because salt is abrasive. Okay? I'm just letting you know, and it will erode your pans over time. So I put cooking spray because it keeps my pasta from sticking together. Okay, so I have 8 ounces there, and I'm going to use, what did I say this was?
You said 8 ounces.
I'm going to use half of this, whatever it is.
You said 16 ounces.
16 ounces. So, no, it's 24 ounces. So I'm going to use half of that. Of this. Yeah, that's a nice big chunk there. Yeah, I don't want that one. So I'm going to use half of that. And like I said, anything I have left over, I will freeze it and use it again. So I'm not tripping. I'd rather have too much than to have too little because I know I can do something else with it. Because if you have too little, then you're going to mess your dish up. Okay, so let me get this away. Let me get this in the fridge. Okay. And let me wipe my hand because I got a little bit of cottage cheese on there. All right, so I'm going to bring my herb friends back over here. But before I do that, let me move this to the back. Okay, so I have this cottage cheese in here. All right. So now I'm going to take my cheeses. So I'm going to start with this. I have a little bit left in here. So this is about a 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese. I'm putting in here with the cottage cheese. Okay. Then I'm going to take some of my quesadilla cheese and I'm putting it in too. You can use you can use any kind of cheese you want in here. It is nothing said that you have to use mozzarella or any of these cheeses. Use what you like. Okay. I'm going to put about a 1/4 cup of that, maybe a little more of my quesadilla cheese in there. Then I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese in. Okay. About a handful, 1/4 cup of that. Okay, Parmesan. So you got all these nice cheeses in here. That's a lovely thing. Okay. And I didn't know, I had cheese in the freezer, beautiful assistant.
I know, I put it in.
Right, I'm saying, but we should have taken that out because they didn't have my cheese that I wanted there, and I have the whole milk in the freezer. In the freezer.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know that. I just happened to look in there when I was putting my ice cream away. Okay, so I have that. And so now I'm going to take my herbs and I'm going to start with the basil. I'm going to do a pinch in here. You know what I'm going to do. Parsley, basil, some Italian herbs, and some cilantro. Okay, in there. Cover that. And is that some good old trusty cilantro. And let me get my Italian seasoning. I put that in there. I'll put 2 pinches of that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to get my cilantro. Okay, so I'm seasoning up this cheese. If you do not season the cheese, and a lot of people don't, they just put the cheeses together. I find that when I bite into my lasagna, I get bursts of flavor and then bland. I don't do bland, but for those of us who wants that dynamic, you can have it. It's your kitchen, your way. I'm going to put a little bit of the dried Italian seasoning in here. Okay, just a little. About a 1/2 teaspoonful. I'm going to bless it. You don't have to, but I'm blessing mine. Okay, and you can do it with any all-purpose seasoning that you have on hand. I'm going to pepper it. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoonful of pepper in there, or 3 or 4 shakes, however you want to measure it. I'm going to take my garlic and I'm going to do, about a whole teaspoonful of garlic. I'm going to do my onion. So pretty much the same seasonings that I did with my sauce. Why? Because we want everybody to get equal time. And I'm going to do a little sprinkle of the sazon. Okay, so now what I need to do is I have my 2 eggs. So let me crack my 2 eggs. I'm going to get a plastic cup and I'm going to beat my eggs in the cup, because you can just crack them over there if you want to. I just like to have my stuff already beaten up because it tends to blend better, in my opinion. Okay. And that's just how I roll. You can do how you want.
I don't know. What's this here, by the way?
Hey there, Miss Lolo.
And someone called Recipes Royston.
Who?
Recipes Royston.
Oh, very good. Hey, how are you?
Hey, sis and family.
Yes, that's my sister. That's my baby sister in there.
I figured that. Okay.
Yes, that's my baby sister. That has come.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That has come to join us.
Yay! Hey, thanks for coming.
Yes.
Lois told us about making the pizza from this morning, and the grandkids did that after I guess they came back.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, Lois. Good job.
And hey, Lois, I see you said hi to me.
Okay.
She also bought some goat cheese. What other low-fat, I guess, recipes can I use with goat cheese?
Well, I haven't tried it yet, Lois, but when I try it, I'll let you know. I'm gonna put some in my eggs to see what it tastes like. Okay, I know it probably is it could be like on a little sharp side, I guess. I'm not sure. I've never had it before. Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. And as soon as I do, I will give you some idea of what you can do. How about that? I'm not gonna sit up and blow some smoke up you and tell you I know, because I ain't never had goat cheese. Okay, so, but there's the first time for everything. So let me get my fork. Okay, and I'm going to gently combine these two eggs together. Y'all know I'm lying. I'm gonna beat it. Just okay, so let me just get these all combined. And you want to stir these eggs until they all look yellow. You don't see any white. You don't want to see the whites of their eyes. You just want to see all of the yellow, and it's going to be combined. So that's what you want to do. And this is a binder, really, okay, for the cheeses and to kind of moisten it some, because all those cheeses can get a little dry, and we're going to be spreading this. Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about when we start doing our layering. Okay, so I'm going to pour this over into our cheese mixture. Let me get this over here because it's getting a little messy. Yeah, it is. So let me get this in here. Bring that over there. All right, and I'm going to take this and toss this, and then we're going to mix this up. We're going to fold this. I'm going to show you again what folding means. Okay? So, let me get this in the garbage. All righty. And let me wipe off my counter because I see little speckles of seasoning on here, and they're dancing and they're having a party, and I'm not happy when they have a party on my counter. Okay, they can party wherever they want, but they just can't party here. Okay, so let me wipe this up and look over here at my sauce and see what condition my sauce is in, because I just have my sauce over here just kind of sitting at the dock of the bay. Yeah, I do. All right, so let me get this. Let me wash my favorite little spatula. Okay. Wash it really nice. Put that in there. Get all of that nice and clean. See, you can have your wooden utensils. Your wooden utensils can actually be seasoned too, because you use them a lot. So they're clean, but they're seasoned. And you want them to be that way. Once you get your cooking utensils and your pots and pans to that sweet spot, that it's just, they're like, hey, we know what to do. We know what to do. You don't have to know, but we got you. You know what I'm saying? That's where you want it to be. Okay? And that's where you want your relationship to be. So you want to know that your partner has your back. You want to know that, yeah, they can bring you some sunny days, sweeping the clouds away. But they don't need to be your Sesame Street every moment of the day. You got to be your own Sesame Street. I am reinforcing this because I was a victim of, I was a perpetrator of using my husband as a happiness Uber. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be aware of the signs and, hey, take a turn to the other dynamic. We're going to be big girls and big boys and big people in our relationships, because you know what? Relationships are for grown folks, not for kids. And if you ain't ready to be a grown folk, hey, step back. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And grown doesn't mean that you have to be 155 years old. It's about your mind. Being mature enough to deal with the dynamic of other people, their feelings, having empathy, not sympathy. Empathy means that if you pinch me, I can feel the pinch. He can feel my pinch. Sympathy means, oh, you've been pinched. I'm so sorry. But you can't really relate. So I need for my partner to have empathy for my plight. And you need to do the same. I need to do the same for my partner. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Okay, so it's just kind of sitting here. We're going to take you up one notch to two, or two notches. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stir this. And this is a real great consistency here. I love it because that cottage cheese was kind of loose. I guess it had gotten a little warm because it's kind of warm here in this kitchen. I had the heat on for a while because it was cold down here, and then I forgot. I left it on. Okay, so now I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm in a million menopausal summers, and I'm gonna put just a little bit more salt in this, just a little bit, and let me stir this up, just like that. So what you're gonna end up with is something that looks just like this, and all your cheeses. It's going to be a wonderful thing. So this is what it looks like once you stir it all together. Okay? Do not worry. Hey, trust the process. Okay? So we have all of that there. Let me get another spoon. Let me just wash it out of here because I'm not going to make a whole bunch of dishes, y'all, because I already told y'all to sit on bed. I ain't even trying to play with y'all. I ain't even trying to pretend that I'm going anywhere else because I'm going to have tomorrow take my oldest son for his, his birthday been going on for the whole week because it fell on Tuesday. So now I got to take him and a whole party to go bowling, arcading, and eating and all that stuff like that because that's what he wants to do with his birthday, for his birthday. So that's and that's tomorrow. Usually I spend tomorrow resting after all of this. But I'm going to suck it up, buttercup, take one for the team, and sleep in my car for the few hours. I'm going to go in there and try. The things we do, I tell you. So let me just stir this just like that. That's great. Let me get that over here. I have my cheese stuff together. I have my lasagna noodles. So I can start building this. We're going to build a lasagna. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use the trusty glass casserole dish because it's the smallest thing I have. And I didn't want to get like a little square because that wouldn't have been practical. Okay, Corey would have ate that by herself. So
I would have.
That's good. Yummy. So let me find, here it is, my cooking spray. Let me shake that up. And I'm going to spray this little glass pan. And I'm going to taste, or no, I ain't going to taste it. I'm going to let the beautiful assistant taste it. See, I'm drinking this stuff, and if I keep drinking and tasting, then I won't be able to eat. And I do want to taste this because if I don't eat some of this tonight, I'm going to have to take it to bed with me and lock it up because I'll come down. Well, what happened to all lasagna? Oh, we don't know. So-and-so did it. Okay, So that's what I'll get.
What do I say?
You're tasting the sauce to see if the sauce is where it needs to be so I can start doing what I need to do with it. Okay. Start layering my thing. So now I'm going to put my oven back on. Okay, let me cut this off. I'm going to put the quick preheat on there so I don't have to wait. Okay. It tastes good?
Yes.
Okay, so she's saying it's good. So I have my pan and it's greased. I took the liberty. Now this is key. Now you may not want to do this, but I'm going to tell you, the drier that your noodles are, that your pasta is, it's going to come out better. So I had this pasta. It was cooked. It is dry. You see how dry this is? I put it out. What beautiful assistant did is she laid out the pasta on some parchment paper while we were talking, and it's completely dry. Every ingredient needs to be dry so it's not slip sliding all over the place. This is just what I feel about it. Okay, so let me see if I can get this in here. And if it's a little bit too big, no worries. For this pan, it may be a little big. So me being me, and I'm about the visuals, I'm going to cut it to size. However, you don't have to do that. You can fold it over if you want to. So I'm going to cut it to size. Okay, just like that, so it can lay flat. Okay, and I'll put this right here on top of there. That way we don't waste anything. Okay, and I'm gonna do that. So I possibly can fit like 3 of these in here, and I have to overlap them, and I will show you. Because you're building, matter of fact, let me take this off. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my sauce base on here. I don't have that much space. See, this is not as deep as my other pan, so I got to be strategic. I want to show you guys, how to build it, but you can build it as high or as deep as your pan. So usually you will get a deeper baking dish or get you a foil one that is made for, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And they have them come in all sizes. This is about the smallest one. So this one here is 13.5 inches by 9 and 5/8 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So it's pretty deep. If you look into here, it's pretty deep. So you can make a lot of layers of lasagna and then it won't come over the top. And you have that issue of when you put the foil on there, it's taking your cheese off. Because you do have to put some foil on it when you're first cooking it because you need to cook from the bottom up. And then you can lightly brown. So you want to get some, I suggest getting the foil one because you can dip it out, toss it out, But anyway, so I have to be very strategic about what I'm putting and how I'm doing this. Let me turn this off because I don't have that much space. So normally what you will do, you'll take some of your spaghetti sauce and you'll kind of spread it around the bottom as your base. Some people will just put regular, just plain sauce, no meat sauce. I do a little of the meat sauce. That's why I make extra. And so I'm going to spread it on the bottom. And I'm going to be very careful because I probably will get 2 layers out of this. That's about it. I already know. I'm not going to get that much out of this pan. But it's about me showing you how to do it. And then you get the right pan and you do it. Okay? So now let me go back with my noodles. So I have my noodle, and okay, that one's like that. Let me cut the other one so it can be the right size to fit in there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to, like I said, layer over my noodles because I can fit in this little pan 3. In that pan, I can fit 4 on the bottom. So altogether, I had 12 of these lasagna noodles in that pan. So I did 3 layers. Okay, with this, I probably will only be able to do 2. But as I said, the deeper your pan is, the more layers you will be able to do. But you get the gist of what I'm talking about by doing this. Me showing you this. So let me get that in there. So this is 3 layers. And let me show you how I overlapped it. So you don't want to see any of the sauce on the bottom because we're building a foundation. Okay. So now you have this. So now's the time when you're going to take this mixture of the cheese. And you're going to take the cheese mixture and you're going to start, I would put a few dollops on it. That's just my stove letting me know that it's ready. I do a couple of dollops because I want to kind of spread this a little across the lasagna pasta. Okay, because this is going to be just another layer of flavor. So put that on there. And like I said, I'm trying to be really thin because I want to at least go 2 of these so you can see how to do it. And like I said, you can build it all the way up to the mountaintop if you have a pan that's deep enough. But do know, the more layers you have, the longer you will have to cook. Okay, the longer you have to keep your lasagna in the oven. Because it has to cook through those flavors. And like I told you, everything cooks from the bottom up, not from the top down. It's only going to cook from the top down if you don't cover it. If you don't cover it, it's going to cook from the top and it's going to be uncooked on the inside or not what you want it to be. So I want to do this, and this is important. Now, because I'm not going to have that many layers, I'm going to start adding some cheese to this before I put anything else on here because you want this to be cheesy. So normally if I had the 3 or 4 layers, this has some cheese, so this wouldn't have as much cheese. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to put some of my quesadilla cheese on here, just like this. Okay. And then I'm going, I'm just going to put the cheeses I got here. Y'all already know what the cheeses are. Let me open up this mozzarella. And I'm going to put a little on here. And it's just to cover our little concoction, cheese concoction. But you want to have enough cheese in this, because that's what it's all about. Nobody just wants to have a naked noodle. I know I don't. Okay, then I'm going to take the Parmesan cheese and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, just a little. Because, see, I'm already getting close to the top. See, every time you put something on here and layer it, you get closer to the top. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take your spaghetti sauce. So you now take your spaghetti sauce and you put some more spaghetti sauce on top of this cheese mixture. Okay, and you want to spread that too. So I'm, like I said, I can't do a whole lot, unfortunately, because this pan is not that deep. So I probably can get one more layer on here, and I'm gonna pray that I can tint this thing, and it won't stick. But that's why I made the other one. So if this comes out ugly, you'll never know, because I'm not showing you. Okay, so there you go. All right, I need to get this spoon, and I'm gonna smooth it out just like that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I smooth it out. And that's how you do it, like that. Okay, just like that. Normally, I would not put some more cheese on here because I'd have another layer and I could do more cheese there. But hey, there's going to be all of everything up in here because I still want this to taste good, even though it doesn't look as beautiful as the other one does because it's in a different pan. Okay, so now let me let you see. We have our meat on top of our cottage cheese and our shredded cheese on here. So now we're going to put a little bit more shredded cheese on top of here before we put our last layer. Because like I said, we want it to be cheesy. So I'm taking some more mozzarella and I'm putting it on top of here. Just like that. And you can use as much or as little as you want. It's up to you. And I'm going to take some more of my Mexican cheese and do the same thing. Just like that. And then, of course, the Parmesan cheese. You know the drill. I got smart audience here. Y'all know. Okay. And so I'm going to take a little of that and just sprinkle that. Okay. Now, I'm going to take one more layer of pasta. Usually it would be more. Like I said, I don't want to overwhelm this. So, let me get another piece of the pasta, cut it, and do the same thing. I'm gonna put that over here. This is gonna be the last. This is gonna be the last little layer of our build the pasta. Okay, and get one more over here, and then I'll have one more. Let's cut that. All right. So. And I'm going to overlap it, like I said, because we don't want to see any sauce or any cheese underneath it. And if you see some, hey, the part you cut off, if you needed to cut your pasta to fit, you just fill in the blanks. Okay, that's what you want to do. All right. So, and I see a little bit, so I'm going to fill in the blanks. See, I did this really good because I think that it won't be, well, I haven't done yet, so let me not run the mouth. Okay, I haven't put the other stuff on top yet. But once I put the other stuff on top, I think that I've done a pretty good job. And I'm just taking these little pieces here because I want to make sure there is no spaghetti sauce or any cheese showing. Because I need to have a really good top foundation. And hey, why should we waste things? Okay, so we got that. We're going to take some more of this mixture. And I'm just going to pour it here in the middle like that so I can spread it. Okay. And I'm spreading it down just like that. And remember, this is cheese. This is lots of cheese. And we're just going to have more cheese. I'm going to put it like that. And just finish putting some more. I guess I can put the vast majority of this on here. And just kind of, because this is going to be the last layer. So I don't have to use for anything else. Let me move that down. Be careful because, you got little pieces of pasta here, to make a hole, and so I'm going to spread that just like that and then turn it around and spread it some more. And I'm gonna get the rest of this out of here. Okay, looks like I guesstimated well. Okay. See, this is what happens when you have done this so much until it's like you can close your eyes almost and don't tell them lies. You don't want me to close my eyes. Ain't no telling going to be a video. But anyway, it just becomes kind of like second nature, and you kind of can eyeball it. Okay, so I got that on here. Let me clean that off. Okay, so now I'm going to get my spaghetti sauce, and I'm going to lightly hit it with the spaghetti sauce again. Okay, I'm going to stick it in the middle like that. A little bit more. And see, I have extra sauce here left. So this can be part of yet another lasagna, or this can be a part of some spaghetti, just some spaghetti, or some beefaroni, whole lot of different things, you know. Yeah. It sure can for some baked ziti too. I forgot about that. It sure can. You can just add some ziti and your cheese and do the baked ziti thing.
That's what I'll be doing.
Okay, so yeah, she already planning what she gonna do with my sauce. Okay, did anybody ask me if I want to do something with the sauce? Ain't even thought about me.
I will ask you if we can.
Okay, listen. Don't ask my neighbor. Okay, so we get that over here. Want to make sure that we get that spaghetti sauce on the cover here. Okay, because I think we've hit our limit of how far we can layer, y'all, because now I got to figure out the dilemma. How is she going to tint this freaking glass pan? We go through this every time I use this pan, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit more because I need a little bit more sauce on here. Okay. Because, you know, the person in me that likes presentation, I got to try. Make it look okay. Okay. So let me just get the sauce. I'm going to have a good little equilibrium here. All right, I think that's good. Let me get that over here. Now I'm going to take the rest of my cheese and I'm going to make it rain, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to take my mozzarella, and at this point, you can put it on any way you want. Mozzarella first, your other cheeses first, whatever you want. I like for my cheese to have that beautiful look of the mozzarella when you cut it. You know, but you do you, boo, because it's your kitchen. You are driving the Uber, okay? You're going to drive the Uber away because you're not going to make your mate your happiness Uber, okay? So you have to take some lessons so you know how to get ready. You want to be like me. You don't want to not be able to drive until you get to be 40-something years old, okay? You want to be driving that Uber right on out of your relationship and have a equal emotional support dynamic. Okay, so let me get this. Oh, okay. Y'all don't see that. I had to lick that off my finger. It just was calling me. Okay, so I'm gonna get the quesadilla cheese, put that on there, and just, you know, cheese it right on up. We're gonna cheese it right on up. Okay. All right, so everything, let me get all this stuff in here so this stuff can go away and be far away from here. Okay, and then finally I'm going to put a little of my Parmesan cheese on top. And I like using the shredded Parmesan instead of, some people will use the dried one and shake it on, you know, but I like using the shredded, the fresh one. Okay, let's get all you little puppies, get up here and do what you need to do. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to take, where is it? I'm going to take some chopped parsley, and I'm just going to sit it on top of here. Yes, I am. And just kind of sprinkle it so it can be cute. Because we always want stuff to be cute, whether we like it or not. Okay? Even if we going out, we think we toe up, we're going to put something on that's going to cutify us. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let me get this over here. Wipe that off. And I will try to tint this, guys, the best I can so we don't pull all the cheese off. All right, so get all that up there. Get my piece of foil. Now you will cook this, like I said, a bigger one I cook for a little over an hour at 400. This will probably do about 45 minutes, I'm thinking. Okay, so I need to make this big enough. And I hope I did this because I need to try to tint this, and it's hard with this glass pan because it doesn't really good. The foil doesn't stick well, and I just want to get it on the edges here. I want to aerate it. I just need to cover it enough and kind of aerate it so I can keep it from cooking too fast on the top. And I need it to cook through. Now, the key is, when you tint it normally, and let me just look in here and see, because it's still hitting. I know I'm going to get some cheese stuck on here. I already know this. This pan is really slippery. It's not really made for this tinting thing. You really shouldn't put too much in here, but, you work with what you got. All right, so I think I got enough wiggle room where I can put this in the oven. My oven is at 400 degrees, but this is a glass pan, and the heat works differently in a glass pan, so it probably will cook a little sooner. So I'll put it on about 40 minutes, but I'll check it and see. Okay, so let me pull this out. Let me get my little piece of foil I have here. Stick that on here. Beautiful assistant, you'll start tightening up just a little bit and put this stuff away from me. And I can finish talking to these good people. And then we just need to tidy it up over here so we can get some plates and plate up our lasagna that's already ready. Okay, let me take that out. And you can do what you do with what's left over of the sauce, what you plan to make. Okay, let me get this in here. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, put that over here. And so, beautiful assistant's gonna do a little quick cleaning so we can have some space over here so we can plate up the finished product. That you see the finished product and plate it up. Okay, let me get that in there. Okay. Okay, so let me wipe my hands off. I'm going to finish drinking my mocktail. We're going to finish up this little thing about making your partner the Uber. We're going to figure out a nice equilibrium that you can take home with you and maybe practice it in your relationship or your future relationship. Okay, so we all have come to the conclusion that your happiness is not your partner's responsibility. I don't care how much you love them, how much they love you. It's not their responsibility. You need to have happiness within yourself. And I'm going to tell you, if that happiness exists and it is self-evoked and it's self-love, then you're going to have a better relationship because you're going to have a better personality in order to share. Okay, if you're happy, if you're just a generally happy person, no one's going to be happy all the time. But if you know how to, it's just like the little kids. You teach little kids to self-soothe. You have to self-happy, okay? And understand that loving someone doesn't mean that that's their responsibility. So in order to stop, you want to learn healthy ways to self-regulate yourself. Self-care, hobbies, like I told you, friends, if that's what you want. Hobbies, hey, YouTube, that'll keep you busy for a long time. Trust me and believe. You won't have time to worry about it because guess what? You won't have time to be happy, sad, mad, glad, anything because you're on a mission like I am. Okay, so that's a good one. Okay, don't let it be a hobby. Let it be a lifestyle and that will keep you occupied. All right. Also, just be realistic. Communicate your feelings. You do want to stay in touch. You don't want to have that emotional blockage just because you're not spending every moment of the day. And sometimes your partner will get so used to that dynamic in a relationship so when you do step away and you start getting what we call a life, they may feel some type of way. So it's very good to communicate the steps that you're trying to take to be more self-sufficient and more self-reliant and explain to them how this is going to benefit them. Because people get into roles and they kind of stay there like a comfortable shoe. Sometimes the shoe has pebbles. Sometimes the shoe is run over on the side. But why do we keep that shoe? Because it's familiar. Doesn't mean it always feels good and is good for us. And you want to ask yourself these questions. And I'm going to pose these questions to you guys here in my chat. Also, for you all out here listening or anybody who will stop by and rewatch. Okay. So you want to say to yourself, if you're thinking that you are using your partner or you're being used as a happiness vehicle by your partner, you may say things like, am I expecting my partner to instantly fix my mood? Or is your partner expect, so vice versa, if you are the vehicle? Okay, do you get mad when your partner doesn't deliver the happiness as quickly as you want? Like I said, if you could press a button and happiness they shooting out rainbows. Okay. I'd like to see that one happen, or how can I become more responsible for my own emotional state? It takes practice. First, it takes coming out of denial, understanding there's an issue, and then finding ways to redirect yourself away from the negative behavior. Okay, so you have to be conscious. You have to be intentional. It ain't something that's going to happen organically. It really isn't. Don't leave that up to chance, for real. Okay, so, my final thought is this. A healthy relationship, whatever that may be for you, is about sharing happiness and not demanding it from each other or one person, okay? You want to let your partner ride with you, okay? You do not want them to drive for you, okay? Because that dynamic can be very, very toxic. That's pretty much this topic here. These are things that I want you guys to think about. Hey, you may not relate to any of this. You may find this at some point in a relationship that you have, or you may think back and this may have been something that went on a relationship, not necessarily you being the person reliant on that person for happiness or that person being for you. And maybe that's why you're no longer together. A lot of times we need to kind of reflect and think. If we don't remember the dynamics or the past and what has happened, then we are doomed to repeat it over and over and over again. Me personally, honey, my time on this earth ain't that much longer. I know this is a reality. I ain't trying to go nowhere fast. However, I can't afford to make dumb mistakes anymore. I'm trying to keep you from having that be part of your dynamic so you can, live an easier relationship life. And have the relationship you want, like I said, with yourself or with a partner. Okay, are we almost done over there? Because I'm going to drink this up. Yes, I am. We're going to get some plates.
We can start plating. These dishes are pretty much done. I just got.
That's really good. Corey, can you go get the already done lasagna? I can't think. The lasagna that we did, I let it sit. Now, what you want to do, and yeah, we put it on. Oh, you put the timer on. Great. You put the time on. So once it comes out, I like to let it sit. I'll be totally honest. The longer I let it sit, maybe about 30 minutes to an hour, it'll help it set up. So I'm hoping that this set long enough so when I cut it, it doesn't do the electric slide and slide. Even though it slides apart, it tastes good. But I need for it to look pretty for y'all. Okay, that's just the way that is. So I'm going to let you see what it came out to be in this little foil pan. And then Corey's going to get some plates and she already got, I tell you, beautiful sister's on point today, y'all. Give her a hand. Give beautiful assistant a hand. We have to give people their propers. Yes. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is heavy. Maybe I need to get another pan so I can put this in here because it's so heavy, y'all. It's bending. Boy, this must weigh what? Maybe 5 pounds.
I say about 8.
No, 8 pounds.
You can weigh it. You want to try?
Okay, I'm not trying. It will break my scale. Okay, so this is after it's cooled and browned, and let me just bring this up here. Oh, I don't want to get this on my clothes. I'm trying to stay neat. Yeah, bend that a little. Okay, so can't everybody see this? This is the finish. This is so freaking heavy. I am telling you. What do you guys think? You think you're gonna like this one? I think you're gonna love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and see what happens when I cut it. Okay, y'all don't all speak at one time and let me know if you like it. There you go. Good job.
Give him a minute.
All right. Okay. No, but I changed the time on here so they can actually react.
Delay. It's not.
Oh, it's still a delay?
Yeah, not delay in time allowed to type, but a delay in hearing the audio come through.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. I was told. Okay. You learn something new every day, y'all. Okay. So let me get this. Wipe that off. Move this over. And as always, I'm not hungry right now because I sat here and sit. I sit to my little. Okay, so let me cut this. I need a small spatula so I can get this out of here. Because you know the first piece is always the one that want to act clicked it. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, okay, let's do this. This is pretty thick, so I don't know how big to cut this. So let's see.
Not super big.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use this
speak
big.
for yourself. Oh, that's too big. I need the smaller one. Is it in the sink? Yeah, that one. I need that one. Okay, we're going to try to get this out of one piece. Okay, and see if
corner piece is the hardest one.
Yeah, that corner piece is the hardest one to get the stuff out. But we're gonna give it a try, y'all. Let's see. Try to get that out. Once I can get it out from the bottom, that's why you want to let it cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it did pretty good. It wasn't too bad. The next piece will look nicer, so that's the one I'm gonna let y'all. No, but this one's pretty big. Somebody call your daddy. Okay. We're gonna get that. I know. Let's see. Yeah. And like I said, the longer it sits, it won't do the slide because it's still doing a little electric slide here, y'all. So it's cold once it goes and it sits here for a couple of hours because it's still kind of hot. Okay, I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna try not to put too much on these plates because then they be around here talking about I gave them too much food. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all see this. I'm gonna give this to Corey, but let me just put a little beauty on it. We get that over here. Now this could probably be a little bit warmer for me. I like my stuff piping hot, but you know, this is how it's gonna be. Okay, let me get that over here. Now I need to get a little garnish because she done put my garnish away, y'all. Get that in here. Get yourself a fork, Core. Okay, y'all know I got to do a little parsley on here. Now I'm gonna make. Well, no, I'm gonna let beautiful assistant make it. I'm tired. We're gonna have some nice garlic bread with this and a salad. Maybe. It depends. Okay, so we're gonna take this and put it all around the world, all together now. Just like that. All right, so let's see what side looks better. Okay, so here it is. Oh, you can't see it. Can you guys see? This way. Okay, that way. Okay, it'll set even more, but this is set really good. It is oozing with cheese. What do you think? Okay, so let's see. That's what you got there. I'm gonna give this to Corey, and we're gonna let him go. Ugh. Okay. I'm gonna give beautiful sister a little piece because I don't know how hungry she is.
Yeah, not super hungry, but yeah, I want to roll piece.
So you want this one?
Maybe like half of that. To start, and I'll come back if you
And I take a sip some more. Still a little runny.
Yeah.
Now, what I'll say, me personally, the texture of it, excellent. The taste, very bold, very, very rich, delicious. Absolutely cheesy. Layered very well. Get to enjoy every bite.
Love everybody.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Okay, yeah. So now we got to give you your chance. Okay, wipe my hands. Let me give you a little garnish. Did Daddy say he was coming?
Yeah, he's on the ground.
Okay. I'll taste some of his because I gave him quite a bit. And yeah. Okay, so we'll do you. She got a cute little piece, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, we give her a little fork. See, that's beautiful assistant stuff right there. Give her a little fork over here. Okay, do your thing, girl.
Oh, it's so cute.
And I'm waiting for my husband, who's taking forever.
You know, pit stop.
You know.
Pit stop. Good grief, the pull on that though. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, you see the pull of that cheese? That is what you want when you have lasagna. You don't want this little dry patch where you pick it up and the whole thing comes apart. You know, this at least that's what I want. I don't know about anybody else. Okay.
You can tell a lasagna or a pasta that's been cooked with a lot of intention and with a lot of time because the flavors just burst. You taste every seasoning. Even when it's mixed in all these different layers of stuff, you taste all of the different flavors together and they just sing in your mouth. It's so good.
Yeah, sing a
A
song.
little dance and everything.
Make it simple. Oh boy, you know, I'm trying to wait for my husband to come so he can come and give his input. I don't know. Okay, he says he's here. He need to hurry up on down to Hardee's where the burgers are not, but this is not a burger. Okay. Okay. This is why you don't rely on your mate for happiness. Because I would be pouting now because he takes too long. He still hasn't.
It's not good enough.
Okay, don't sing a song. Here you go. There you go. Here, I'm going to share with
darling.
you because I know that's a lot.
Oh, it is. Oh my God, but it looks amazing.
Okay, so give it a shot. Give us your input, man.
Oh my God, it looks amazing. Oh wow. Got a lot of texture and a lot of layers.
Yeah, that's a big one. And then we got another one in the oven.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why you cook all that food, woman?
Well, I had to show my family here how to do it. And then I didn't want them to wait for another 2-3 hours. You know, it wasn't that kind of party. Okay, so now.
Oh.
Let me get a fork over there.
Oh man.
Because he's over here rolling on the floor.
Oh man.
Okay, he says, oh man, it's delicious.
We gotta find somebody to smack.
Okay, he wants to be violent and smack somebody. Okay.
Wow.
See, don't depend on your partner for happiness or
Oh,
anything like that. Because when they get to smacking people, I'm going to be on the other side. Okay, let me try some of yours.
You may have to get your own.
Okay, let me
darling.
just try a little bit. Okay, let's see.
Ah.
Okay, I'm just take a little piece right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut it. I'm just getting a little bit of it.
Oh man.
Trying to dirty myself.
Delicious.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Ah.
I just got hungry, y'all. Mm.
Oh,
This is tight.
Mm.
I'm telling you, the meat is tender and delicious. The sauce is through and through.
Mm.
Every single layer. The pasta is not overdone.
And Corey's finishing.
Corey's trying to get more.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
Wow, I thought it was
Honey.
He ate yesterday, y'all.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Look at this. I want you to see this. Okay. Y'all take a little bite. Okay. I'm gonna eat this.
That's delicious.
Mm.
That is delicious.
That
That is delicious.
that's a winner, y'all.
Mm.
You want this lasagna. Yes, you do. So, oh boy. See? Cream sauce.
I love that sauce.
The sauce is good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Step that sauce up. It is not even Prego anymore. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, you break up?
No, I didn't. I made I lutherized. I Caseyized it.
Ooh.
Yes, I did. So at the end of the day, y'all, like I said, healthy relationships rely on two people with their own separate spaces to stand. Okay. In every single way. And it's okay. It really truly is. Trust and believe. Yes, it is. And when you make lasagna, you want all of the layers and all of the ingredients to have their spots to stand too. If you follow that recipe, both in relationships and for this food, hey, you'll get a winner every single time. So, if you guys enjoyed this live stream of the love rhythm recipe and spending some time with me and mine, I need you to hit that like button. Yes, I do. Everybody up in here, hit the like button because guess what, y'all? I think that y'all will just help me get my 4,000 watch hours and mwah, love you much. Oh, yes, I do. I'm going to be coming with even more exciting things for you guys because of it. I am here to tell y'all are the ride or dies. You're the reason why I have done this. Thank you so very much. Hit the like button. Keep on letting YouTube know that you like this little old lady. Okay, that's number one. Number two. Oh, I tell you, I got some more of that. Number two, if you're new and you're just scooting by and you don't really understand what's going on, this is a cooking and relationship show because everything you do in life includes food at some point. So this is how we do it here. I would like for you to subscribe, take the time, and when you do, you won't be sorry. Leave a comment so you can give me some ideas of what you want to talk about, okay? And what you might want to eat. And we can do the correlations. Also, for those of you who are already subscribed, I need for you to turn your notifications on, okay? Because like I told y'all, I'm going to be doing a whole different recording dynamic with my long form video. Y'all going to get to see a whole lot more of me. Because what I told y'all, I got so much more to show you. Come into my life. Hey, I adore you.
Hey.
Yes, I do. Okay, we're going to do this journey together. We're going to go and take it all the way to the top. And you know what? As always, you know what I wish you. I wish y'all the best relationships you can possibly have with each other, with a partner, with a friend, with yourself. Okay. I want you to find your rhythm and dance. And I want to wish you love, peace, and so much joy. Yeah, I do. I'm going to see you next week. I sure am. Bye-bye. I'm finna eat, y'all. So I'm eating and I'm gonna roll over. This is what we do here. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, my family.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
They so busy eating, y'all. They can't even say nothing to y'all.